Want to make yourself look like a dog? They got that. Want to make yourself look older? They got that too. And when I say they, I mean Snapchat, the universal phone-based application that children, teens, and adults are using to send each other filters and different pictures and things of that nature. But what is Snapchat? Is it detrimental or helpful to a child's mental health? And what's a child psychiatrist's take? Well, join us today on our episode about Snapchat.
So, what is Snapchat? Snapchat is a popular app which lets users exchange pictures, videos, and messages with a set time limit before they disappear. Over time, the app has evolved to include different features such as Chat, which is a simple private messaging feature, video chats with up to 15 people at a time, Snap Streaks, which rewards friends for sending snaps to each other for many days in a row, Snap Map, a way for users to track where other users are located. Mental health risks of Snapchat. Snapchat offers many beauty-enhancing filters, which may exacerbate existing body image issues. It's super easy to add friends on Snapchat, including strangers, because anybody can screenshot and save any photos or videos sent to them. Vulnerable children are sometimes bullied and blackmailed into sending more images. Many young people have been humiliated when their intimate photos were circulated amongst classmates, leading to self-harm and, in some instances, suicide. Mental health benefits of Snapchat. It may help foster creativity through the use of filters, captions, and doodles. It can also serve as a platform to support good causes, such as when the World Wildlife Fund used Snapchat to create a campaign to raise awareness about endangered species. Children can connect with peers through Snapchat, and studies have actually shown that Snapchat use predicts more social enjoyment and positive mood than other social media apps. Lastly, Snapchat has developed features to directly support mental wellness. They launched Here For You in 2020, through which they provide mental health resources for those who looked up words such as anxiety, depression, and bullying. They also collaborated with Headspace, a popular meditation and mindfulness app, to develop guided meditations within the Snapchat application. This particular feature also allows users to send encouraging messages to friends.
Hi, and welcome to the Media Psych Minute for this episode about Snapchat. Let's explore the media psychology behind how and why we use Snapchat. Ephemeral content and social presence. Content on Snapchat is short-lived and expires quickly. Media psychologists call this kind of content ephemeral content. Researchers have found that engaging with ephemeral content greatly increases feelings of social presence. In short, this means our brains almost feel as though we're physically present with other users when seeing their ephemeral Snapchat post from an hour ago, compared to seeing the same user's Facebook post from 3 weeks ago. This intense social presence conjures strong emotional reactions, which can lead to higher frequency of use, an important factor to keep in mind when trying to limit screen time. Deepening close relationships. Snapchat content is usually high context and is only meaningful to people who know the poster well. Users reported needing to know the content creator well in order to understand the true nature of their snaps. This makes Snapchat a great tool for strengthening already close, trusting relationships. But researchers found it is not useful for developing a social support network. Less intimate platforms like Facebook are better at building social support networks and connecting with new people. But Facebook is not as effective as Snapchat in maintaining and deepening already close friendships and relationships. Image-based communication and privacy. One study examined the paradoxical nature of Snapchat. It's an app about temporal privacy, but users can still take screenshots of content. Despite this loophole, Snapchat is still popular. Researchers found that although most users had a low level of trust in the privacy on Snapchat, it's still popular because many people just prefer to communicate in images instead of text, stating image-based communication provides self-expression and relational gratifications that are unfulfilled by text-based applications. As for privacy concerns, researchers found that users will usually believe that betrayals of privacy will happen only to other users and not themselves. But it's important to remember that it could happen to anyone. Appreciating the small things. Snapchat users tend to share smaller, more mundane aspects of their daily life, as opposed to sharing big accomplishments typically shared on other platforms. The mindful user could use the more relaxed and spontaneous nature of Snapchat as a means to share and express gratitude for the small daily joys in life, which can positively impact their well-being as well as the well-being of those who see their content. Most importantly, the benefits or risks you gain from a social media platform is decided largely by how you use it. Remaining mindful of screen time and our intentions while using Snapchat can go a long way to maximize benefits and minimize negative effects. This has been Media Psych Minute. Thank you.
What level of education should a clinician have about all the social media apps or video games? Should we try playing them all? And this goes for the parents too. Should we at least install them and look through them? I mean, who has used Snapchat in the room? Not me.
You use Snapchat, right?
I used to, and then I deleted it.
Yeah, that's the same here. I opened it just to see what it was about, and then I was like, I'm too old for this.
What are the reasons that parents come to you regarding Snapchat? Or what is the typical kind of complaint about Snapchat that comes up?
Number one for me is bullying.
Cyberbullying.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us more.
I think the appeal and the danger of Snapchat, right, is that the videos disappear pretty quickly. And so there's this thought that kids can kind of get away with doing different things. But then there's also the reinforcement when videos are shared and you can go viral. Or something that's happening secret or underground, specifically middle school is where I see it probably be the hardest for kids. So I think bullying one, and then sexting would be the other one.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's kind of like sexting is a part of sexuality. It's a part of, the digital world. Sexting is a vehicle for sexuality amongst adolescents. And so what it ends up becoming is this kind of almost cultural phenomenon that now adolescents kind of partake in. And it's almost a norm.
I have had a number of patients get their phone confiscated by police, and it's a big deal. And then, of course, they don't have access to their phone. Their parents took their, phone away because they're concerned about what the child might do, what they might send to someone. So now what? What is their path to regaining that privilege? What do the parents need to know about the kid or the app or what? Because they're not going to be deprived of their phone forever because of this. So what do you recommend as a road back?
I think it depends on the age.
So I think the first thing and foremost is trying to have the parents as much as possible empathize with them in the situation. That this is a really difficult situation.
They're vulnerable, in other words.
Yeah, and us as clinicians need to know that also, right? And I think what Ash was saying is true of all teenagers. Is risk-taking behavior is normal in teenagers, and this kind of falls under risk-taking behavior. It just happens to have a lot of negative consequences. Some of them well-deserved, right? And some of them, I think we do tend to blame the victim sometimes as we go through. And so I think it's taking that step back, first of all, to make sure the kid is safe and okay. So I understand why the phone is going away. And I think that earning the trust back comes second to making sure the kid is safe right then and there and okay.
You logged into AOL and you opened the other app called AOL, and it was all these ways to take advantage of AOL users. For instance, how to harvest credit card numbers from them by sending fake instant messages saying, "Hi, I'm here from customer service. We need to just verify something. Can you just tell us your account password so we can?" This was so early in the internet that people didn't even think twice. This was before those notifications about don't ever give your password out. That was why those were invented, because me and my friends, not because we had any actual vicious intent, but we thought it was cool and impress each other. We had lists of credit cards and passwords, and we didn't know what to really do with it. Thankfully, we weren't that antisocial or devious enough to do something with them, but it was just an activity to impress each other. And now there's so much more that you could have done. And I'm sure if I was 12 now, I will be doing all of the same stuff that people are doing. I just have more capacity to cause more damage, right, and harm. I was a typical 12-year-old, kid trying to be cool. What is available to them? And it's not fair to say that they're doing something worse than we did, but they just are doing the same amount of deviance with much more
bigger
consequences. So it has to be viewed that way.
A much bigger, much wider reach.
Right.
Yeah, and irreversibility and screenshots and
And an inability to get away from it.
Can we talk about streaks
Yeah.
for a second? I don't know if this comes up in your office, but Snapchat has streaks. And so people will sometimes have a 100, 200-day streak, which is only upheld by taking a quick picture or sending them a snap, which is basically a message or a photo message, every single day. And it starts to carry so much weight because your top streaks you're implying that those are the people who are your best friends.
Your
The
best
reason I
friends,
bring this
yeah.
up is because kid gets in trouble, parents take phone away for 2 days, and as you would guess, all of their streaks end. And as if that's not catastrophic enough, losing your streaks, your friend who you've had a 300-day streak with says, wait a minute, are they not friends with me anymore? Are they ghosting me? Are they ditching me? So people really, really freak out when they lose their phone, and parents have no idea that that's one of the causes of their stress. So I'm curious what you think of this. I have actually said to parents, you know what? You can confiscate the phone. Let them log in and just continue their streak for a day so they don't go absolutely insane. And then you can still keep the phone. What do you think? Is that me being too permissive?
No, I think it's a nice compromise depending on the age and how receptive the kid
Yeah.
is, though. If they're refusing to do that in front of parents or give it up, right, I think then that's another lost privilege, right? But if they're able to do that, I think it's a great compromise.
Yeah.
I think also, kids want control. That's right. All of it's about agency, and this is their way of connecting. So highlighting it's a privilege, but then also saying, listen, bedtime at 9 p.m., right? Talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
How about rather than me take away your phone, you and I send a message to your friend together. You write it yourself, and I'll help you write it saying, hey, I got to put my phone away now. Why don't you text it and let me look at it and see if it looks good or if you feel embarrassed by it or whatever have you. If they say, no, I'll do it. Like, no, order for us to have this relationship where you have a privilege with your phone. I want to help you have these conversations where you can end the connection with your friend and not feel like you're going to be abandoned by them or you're having that fear of missing out or anything of that nature. And sending nudes and stuff like that is that to advise the patient that, if you do engage in that behavior, how do you keep it safe, right? One, is it consensual, right? Or are you being coerced, right? Because if you are being coerced, that's where you need to get somebody involved to help you out of that situation. Two, if you do end up sending nudes, which you say to me, Dr. Sood, I'm going to do it. Is your location on? Can they see where you're standing from? Are there any identifying markers that if your picture is shared in any which way, right? Can anybody identify you, right? Because if a nude is leaked, then that's going to make you feel humiliated, and or somebody could use that for blackmail, coerce you. So these are conversations that, as adults, it can be hard to have with the kid. But it's also, if it's going to happen, it's almost like a harm reduction method. How do you have that conversation with them where they're like, okay. He's not saying that it's okay to do it, but he's saying that if it does happen, how do I keep myself safe?
The sense of permanence of anything you let out on the internet is forever. There is no taking it back. There is no hiding it. The digital age brought with it this level of permanence that we have never experienced before. Just because an app says it deletes it or it goes away and no one sees it does not mean it disappears from the world.
Could I really I understand the harm reduction, but can I really try and kind of walk them through some conditions other than as having the firm standpoint that, I'm thinking of drugs too. Like, if you're going to do crack, then at least do it with people, on a place. Like, I can't get there at all.
Yeah. And I also think child pornography is still, still a felony.
Of course.
Oh, yeah,
It's
everywhere.
still a felony, right?
Absolutely. It's absolutely it's illegal, right?
Yeah.
But that's the thing, right? I'd rather you say you can't do it. Kid does it. And then they sit around saying, what could I have done that could have been safer? And they can't go to an adult because they see that as a punishment, that they're going to get reprimanded for it. And so it is something that happens. And you can say all the negatives, right? But you can also say, If this is going to happen and you're telling me the risk of this happening is really high because you're in this serious relationship and you're already telling me you're sending nudes, how do I keep you safe?